Hello guys, chapter 1169 was released few days ago, and it's one of the amazing chapters which reveals us the details of why and how Harald was killed, so let's dive in. Page 1. In Elbaph, inside a quiet house, Shanks sits across from Scopper Gaban, a former crewmate of the Pirate King. Gaban explains that long ago, Monkey D. Garp told him a secret the world was never meant to hear. Gol D. Roger had a son. The Navy hunted that child relentlessly, trying to erase Roger's bloodline forever. But somehow, the child survived. Shanks listens carefully and reflects on the past, on the children who once sailed under Roger's flag. He remembers a time when he and Buggy were treated like sons by the Pirate King himself. To Shanks, blood alone has never meant destiny. Some people are born from legends and never rise to greatness. Others, with no famous lineage, change the world. In the end, Shanks believes greatness is not inherited. It is earned. Page 2. At Elbaph's Orist Castle, the situation is already spiraling out of control. King Harald realizes a terrifying truth. As long as he stays alive, his presence will only bring disaster to Elbaph. His body is failing. His mind is being influenced, and the world government still has its grip on him. Harald begins to question himself. Can he still fight it? Can he resist the orders forced upon him? The answer he reaches is horrifying. He believes his death is the only way to protect his people. Without hesitation, King Harald begs for it. He orders his own execution. At the same time, chaos spreads through the castle. Prince Loki returns, unaware of what his father has decided. Chief Gerald arrives as well, sensing that something is deeply wrong. The royal guards panic. They don't understand why their king is acting this way. Cut back to Harald's memories. Harald reflects on his life. More than a century of rule. All of it, he believes, was wasted. He blames himself for allowing the world government into Elbaph, for trusting them, for becoming their tool. Harald shouting, losing control. The king's emotions finally overflow. He refuses to let Elbaph become a slave to the world government. If an army must rise to stop him, then so be it. But he will not step down quietly. If Elbaph must be saved, then its king must fall. Page 3. Inside the royal chamber, everything finally breaks. The guards rush in, weapons raised, trying to understand what's happening to their king. They call out to Harald, but what stands before them no longer feels human. King Harald looks down at his own body and realizes something horrifying. No matter how badly he is wounded, his body keeps healing. In that moment, Harald understands the curse placed upon him. He cannot die. Fear spreads through the chamber. The guards attack him all at once, desperate to stop the rampage. Blades pierce his body. Spears strike him down. But Harald keeps standing. The wounds close. The pain fades. What was meant to kill him only proves the truth. The king has become immortal. Harald screams in despair. He doesn't want power. He doesn't want eternity. All he wants is to die. But even death refuses him. Panic takes over the castle. Soldiers shout for everyone to run. No one knows how to stop a king who cannot be killed. As the room fills with fear, Harald feels his strength returning. The more he heals, the more dangerous he becomes. And Elbaph's nightmare has only just begun. Page 4. As the chaos spreads, the truth behind King Harald's condition finally comes to light. Shanks explains that Harald is no ordinary king. He possesses unnatural abilities, strength beyond giants, and endurance that borders on the inhuman. But those powers came at a cost. Harald entered into a covenant with the world government, specifically with the Holy Knights. By signing that covenant, Harald placed himself under their control. No matter where he was, no matter how far away, He could no longer disobey their orders. At first, Harald resisted the idea. He didn't trust the world government. And he didn't want Elbaph tied to them. But greed, promises, and pressure slowly wore him down. The Holy Knights promised power, security, and protection for Elbaph. Harald believed them. Only later did he understand the truth. The covenant wasn't a partnership. It was a leash. Even with his immense strength, even with Elbaph's warriors, he could not escape their command. To break free, Harald needed to go even further. He would have to sign a deeper, more dangerous contract, one that would officially bind Elbaph to the world government. And that decision is what pushed him toward madness. Because once a king sells his freedom, he can never truly protect his people. Page 5. Prince Loki finally reaches the royal chamber, only to find absolute chaos. The guards are wounded, the walls are destroyed, and standing at the center of it all is his own father. Loki demands answers. He doesn't know what to react to first: the destruction, the blood, or the fact that Harald is still standing. Harald turns toward his son. He knows he doesn't have much time left, not mentally. Harald tells Loki to listen carefully. He admits the truth. He joined hands with the world government, not to protect Elbaph, but to carry out their will. And when his usefulness ended, they discarded him. Harald confesses something even worse. He killed his own guards, not out of hatred, but because he had lost control. The power inside him no longer listens to reason. The soldiers panic. They realize the king has been taken by madness. Some shout to restrain him, others scream to save him, but no one knows how. Harald forces himself to stay conscious. He tells Loki that everything happening right now is the result of his own choices. And that is why Loki must be the one to end it. Because if Harald remains alive, Elbaph will be destroyed from within. This is no longer a king speaking. It is a father begging his son. Page 6. Harald finally reveals his true plan. He explains that the world government never intended to honor their promises. They planned to use him, and then turn Elbaph into nothing more than soldiers for their wars. Harald realizes too late that he was deceived. If he hands Elbaph over now, the giants will become slaves. His voice begins to shake. He questions himself. Was everything he did wrong? Did his choices doom Elbaph's future? But Harald reaches a final conclusion. Once he is gone, his reputation won't matter. Only Elbaph's survival will. That is why he turns to Loki. He tells his son that only one path remains. Loki must kill him, take the throne, and be remembered as Elbaph's hero. Harald admits the truth. With the power placed inside him, he would become the worst king in Elbap's history. So instead, he chooses to become its final sacrifice. He orders the treasure of Elbaph to be given to Loki, because that power is the only thing capable of stopping him. This is not a command. It is a plea from a king who failed, and a father who wants his son to succeed. With Elbaph's fate resting on Loki's choice, the question remains: will he accept the power meant to kill his own father? Or will this tragedy consume Elbaph entirely? Page 7. The situation explodes. The guards turn on Harald. They shout that he is no longer their king. They accuse him of murdering his own men. But Harald refuses to accept it.
In his mind, he is still the rightful ruler of Elbaph. And anyone who stands against him is an enemy. Harald strikes first. With overwhelming force, he cuts down the guards charging at him. Weapons shatter. Bodies are thrown aside. The difference in power is absolute. Harald gives his final order. Seal the castle gates. No one leaves. No witnesses. What began as a king's regret has turned into a massacre. Harald is no longer trying to save Elbaph. He is trying to erase the truth. And somewhere inside the castle, Loki is running toward the power meant to end it all. The fate of Elbaph will be decided, not by a king, but by a son. Page 8. The warning comes too late. As the giants scream at Loki to run, Harald strikes with terrifying speed. It's the very sword Jarl had once given him, now turned against its master. Jarl is hit directly on the head. Blood spills as the chief of Elbaph staggers under the blow. The giants freeze in shock, realizing the betrayal. Jarl's own gift, once a symbol of trust, has become a weapon of destruction. Even in pain, Jarl tries to command the situation. He demands that Harald return the fruit and remember his duty to Elbaph. Harald doesn't hesitate. He declares he will take the fruit himself and shoulder Ragnar's burden. The act is not only about power, but a terrifying assertion of control over his son, the giants, and his own destiny. Jarl, wounded and betrayed, makes one last desperate attempt to stop him. He proclaims Harald unworthy of the fruit. But the king no longer listens to reason. Meanwhile, Loki runs toward the fruit, faster than anyone anticipated. The giants cry out, realizing that the child they knew is already changing. Something darker, something unstoppable is guiding him now. Jarl's gift has become a we, and Loki's choice will decide the fate of Elbaph itself. Page 9. The descent into madness. The air in Elbaph has turned cold. King Harald, the once mighty ruler, is gone. In his place stands a monster, laughing as he feels his body transform. This undying body is a wonderful thing, he sneers, his humanity slipping away with every breath. Shanks watches in horror, desperately asking if there is any way to break the control over him. Blood in the hall. The violence is instantaneous. With a brutal slice, Harald tears through the room. Jarl falls, his life saved only by his helmet, while Scopper Gaban is caught in the crossfire. The giants can only scream in terror as their king becomes their executioner. Gaban warns the group, based on everything they've feared, the worst-case scenario is no longer a threat, it is their reality. Loki's final gamble. While Shanks tries to bring Harald back to his senses, the focus shifts to Prince Loki. Chained and desperate, he knows there is only one way to stop his father's rampage. He smashes through the gates of the secret vault, panting, his eyes fixed on a single chest. Inside lies the storage relic of Elbaph, the forbidden devil fruit. The shadow strikes, but the treasure is not unguarded. Just as Loki reaches for the ultimate power, a massive shadow looms over him. Whoosh! A gargantuan hammer swings through the air, catching the prince off guard. As the chapter ends, a sinister cackle, gek gek gek, echoes through the vault. Who is the mysterious guardian, and is Loki's quest for power over before it even begins? I feel this devil fruit has a crucial role in the One Piece story, and again here we will definitely see how the devil fruit chooses its master again as if they have a soul of their own. We have also previously seen how things dramatically change when a devil fruit is found and it somehow traces the deserving candidate on its own. I just can't wait to see more of this. The next chapter is said to be revealed on 5 Jan. Until we will keep you updated with the latest spoilers of chapter 1170. Stay tuned.